all my beautiful little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is indeed the first time that you're on my channel, my name is Vanessa and I, and I would like to welcome you into the fam. So for today's pick a card reading, I have prepared 5 beautiful decks of cards for you, and each one of these decks comes with a crystal. And in order to reveal the divine messages that you need to hear and the universe wants you to urgently receive, I would like you to pick one of these 5 groups intuitively. So just pick whichever group that you feel the most naturally drawn towards. But that's not all that I have to offer you within this video. This video is a 2-part video. So the first round consists of you picking one of these 5 groups, and then you get to pick another group during a second round. This way you can receive a highly personalized reading with the precise messages that you need to receive right now. And don't worry, the timestamps for round 2 are linked down below in the description box. So to make it abundantly clear how this video works is that you first pick one of these 5 groups, then you receive your reading. After you've received the messages that you picked during this round, you get to pick again. Because my channel is designed to not only be healing as well as relaxing, but I also want to ensure that you get readings that are as personalized as possible. So I really hope that you can appreciate this approach of being able to pick twice and to have your own unique combination of messages and cards. So the 5 groups that I have prepared for you during round 1 are as follows. Group number 1 corresponds to the Keepers of the Light Oracle cards as well as the Howlite crystal. Group number 2 corresponds to the Austera Tarot cards as well as the Coffee Obsidian. Group number 3 corresponds to the Mystic Mondays Tarot cards as well as the Orange Calcite. Group number 4 corresponds to the Modern Witch Tarot deck as well as the Vanadinite. And group number 5 corresponds to the Feather Messenger Oracle deck as well as the Amethyst. But as already mentioned, the timestamps can all be found down below in the description box. So I will now give you a little moment of privacy with the 5 groups so you can meditate on them if you wish to do so. Tell me why we're about to go into summer right now, but this gingerbread and almond milk tea is just everything. So by now you've hopefully made up your mind and you know which group that you would like to go with in order to receive the first round of your divine messages. So I will be starting off the readings with group number 1, which corresponds to the Keepers of the Light Oracle cards as well as the Howlite crystal. So if this is the group that you chose, you can keep watching, and to all of my other lovely groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello group number 1 and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Howlite in conjunction to the Keepers of the Light Oracle cards. So let's get acquainted with the energy and vibration of the crystal that you chose. So this is the Howlite. This is a beautiful calming stone, a very healing one, and it is a great addition to anyone's collection, especially if you like a very clean, sleek, and marble-esque look. So let's move into your reading in order to figure out exactly what messages that you need to hear. For all of you wondering, group number 1, all of my rings are linked down below, so feel free to check that out at your convenience. So let's move into your reading. First and foremost, we have Melchizedek. So in Melchizedek, I do see here that learning from experience is something that the universe wants to remind you of. Okay, so if you're going through a tough time or you feel as though you have hit a roadblock just overall in your personal life or your work life, there is this difficult aspect that has been bothering you, I want you to know here, group number 1, that the message of Melchizedek is to understand that the only way how you can grow and the only way how you can know better is by learning from experience, and inner study is now required in order to further progress. So group number 1, rather than giving up when you hit a roadblock or you're in a difficult spot in your business or your personal life, learn about why this brings up such difficult emotions for you. Learn about yourself and ask yourself if there are parts of you that you would maybe benefit from studying. So if you, for example, had a very traumatic past or childhood, you may still have blockages that are left over from that time in your life that are holding you back right now, or that are resurfacing, but they're hidden in these current events in your life. You know what I mean, group number one? When it seems like you're mad about something that's happening now, but it actually just reminds you of something in the past or a trauma. That is what I mean here. Next, we have Radha. So in Radha, I can see here that rediscovering a lost part of yourself is a divine message that you need to receive, group number one. And I do want you to know here, in conjunction to Melchizedek, that confronting past traumas or confronting past hurts, that's not something that you should feel negatively about. It's not something that just only has to be difficult. You may rediscover part of yourself that you missed or that you completely forgot ever existed. If you've been into music in the past, if you really love to sing or to draw or to create, but you've kind of fallen out of love with it, or you haven't had time for it due to work or due to your career, I want you to know here in Radha that you're most likely going to rediscover some old hobbies or just things that you were naturally very talented at that you maybe gave up on or forgot. So I can definitely see here that experiencing relationship harmony and healing with yourself is a divine message that is here to uplift you. Next, we have Diana. Group one, in Diana, I want you to know here that the universe is trying to communicate to you to think about what it is that you desire and set your sights high. So if you have been lowballing yourself, group number one, and kind of lowballing your dreams, this is your sign, okay? This is the universe trying to communicate to you to quit doing that. And to quit thinking and dreaming so small for yourself. Expect the best possible outcome, because what's the alternative, group number one? Of course, you can say to yourself that your dreams may go wrong, or you may get stuck along the way, or if you're, for example, dreaming of a bigger career or just something bigger in your life, that it may never happen. So of course, yeah, that is a possibility, but at the same time, the alternative is to just continue living in a way that you're not destined to live, or that doesn't spark as much joy and passion in you as you would like. So expect the best possible outcome and see how things will fall into place magically in a way that you never expected. Next up, we have the Holy Amethyst. So in the Holy Amethyst, we have this message of divine alchemy. So in this divine alchemy, I can see that moving beyond current challenges is something that you're able to do when you focus on what you desire. When you stop focusing on the negatives or on what could go wrong or on any roadblocks that are making you feel kind of down or making you feel like you've taken many steps forwards, but also a lot of steps backwards. So focus on what you desire and don't give up now, group number one. That is one of the core messages that are present for you here today. So let's move further into your reading. We have the Hermit. So group number one, spending time with yourself, alone time, contemplation. I can see here that that is a divine message that you are meant to receive. Soul searching. All of these things are important, especially soul searching, especially spending time with yourself in order to understand why you are the way that you are, and to not blame yourself, because depending on what you've been through in the past, if you've had a narcissistic parent or ex or friend, or you've just come in contact with people who aren't very compassionate, you may have blamed yourself for a lot of shortcomings or for a lot of difficult times in your life. Meanwhile, it wasn't your fault at all. It was either out of your control or it was someone else trying to pass the blame onto you, group number one. Become aware of that and allow yourself to think about why that person may have done so, rather than to just get angry or just tell yourself that you've moved on, because there is such a thing as having PTSD after traumatic experiences that have nothing to do with physical violence, right? Because PTSD is something that a lot of people talk about in conjunction to, say, war veterans, but people don't talk about it when it's from friends and family members and partners who were toxic, who hurt us physically or emotionally, and who caused a lot of trauma within our lives. I feel like that's something that we need to become more aware of and kind of validate update really for ourselves and a lot of other people. Next, we have the Spirit of Cups. So group number 1, in the Spirit of Cups, I see opportunity for your creative ventures to take off. But as we discussed earlier in your reading, you have to believe in it and not get discouraged if things aren't blowing up immediately, especially if you're trying to turn a passion project into a business. You may feel discouraged because of the current climate or not having such an influx of sales or the ability to turn it into a very profitable business as quickly as you thought, and it may seem like the light at the end of the tunnel is still so far away. But I want you to know here in the Spirit of Cups that all it really takes is believing in yourself and a few good ideas, a few good kind of spurts of luck, if you will, group number 1, to get you to the right place at the right time and for you to all of a sudden take off. Next, we have the 5 of Cups. So group number 1, in the 5 of Cups, I do see here that dwelling or avoiding a situation has been taking up a lot of your energy, group number 1. And this is something that I personally am an expert at. I'm sure a lot of my other Cancerians or fellow water signs will be able to relate. But even if you're not a water sign, I want you to know that this is something that can suck up just so much of your precious time and energy and vitality. Stress really does make you age, not just in the sense of looking old, but also feeling old. So do know here in the 5 of Cups that if someone or something isn't paying your bills, making you happy, loving you, or supporting you, it's really not worth you stressing out over it. Next, we have the Magician. So group number 1, in the Magician, I can see here synchronicity as well as manifestation being something that you can achieve. So you embodying the Magician is actually a really powerful trait and card. But I see that with you, it's all about getting out of your head, getting onto the right wavelength so that you can perform in a way that you are proud of. So I can definitely see here that for you in the Magician, synchronicities are lining up. So look out for synchronicities in your life. It could be seeing the same number over and over again. It could also be a symbol. And I do see here in the Magician that helps you manifest, and it helps you kind of understand that there is some sort of unseen force or power that is constantly with you. So take notice of synchronicities within your life and take them as little pointers and hints for your best manifestation times. So if you, for example, always look at the clock coincidentally at 4:44 p.m., the number 4 or the synchronicity with the number 4 is clearly a symbol, a sign for you, group number 1. So then use that number more often. Use it in passwords. Use it if you're filling out lottery tickets. Use it if you're choosing a number to, for example, do a certain sport with, right? If you're choosing a parking space, a house number, and you have the choice, use these numbers that say something to you, that mean something to you, because that will really open up more of the connection to your manifestation powers. Next, we have the Devil. So group number 1 in the Devil, I can see here that a divine message that you have to receive is that someone is most likely going to get closer to you and is kind of tempting you. So this someone is not going to serve you. Okay, this is a relationship that may feel very passionate and fun, but in the long run, it just isn't for you. It's not going to be healthy. So if this says something to you and you already know what I'm talking about, keep your distance, group number 1. If this is someone new coming into your life, so if there's no one right now that is tempting you to act out of character or to how should I say, overstep your boundaries, to lower your standards really, then make sure that in the future that is not something that you let slide, as you can already see here within the reading that you're being warned to not do that. Next, we have the Six of Cups. So group 1 in the Six of Cups, this is a fairly favorable card of giving, of togetherness, of being there for others, but also others being there for you. And that is something that you can expect in the near future. I can see here in the Hierophant reversed that when it comes to spirituality, you may feel like you're hitting a plateau. You may feel like you're kind of in a place that is hard to move forward from. But as discussed at the beginning of your reading, don't give up, okay? You are a powerful magnetic force. Set your sights high and don't aim too low. With you, the issue is more about aiming too low rather than achieving too low. Just aim a lot higher, group number 1, and you will be surprised at what you're able to accomplish. And then last but not least, we have the Four of Diamonds. So group number 1 in the Four of Diamonds, I do see here that you're being called to let go of being so uptight when it comes to money. So spending money on things that serve you, on things that can help you in the long run, investing in yourself. So spending money on a new pair of shoes or a purse or some sort of stocks that you're not sure of, that you just heard of from a friend and so on. Those are all not the investments that are going to give you a return in some way, shape, or form. But for example, investing in a beautiful outfit that you're going to use to work out, or investing in a workout plan, investing in supplements, investing in books or courses that can help you further your knowledge for your business and your career. Now that's investing in yourself, group number 1, and that is going to have a long-term effect on you in a positive way. So it's going to benefit you physically, psychologically, and hopefully also financially to do so. So invest in a way that makes sense. Don't be stingy when it comes to investing in yourself. So group number 1, this is part 1 of your reading, and I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know down below in the comment section. Leave a little, what emoji should we do? Leave a little flower emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that this is group 1 for you, that this is the first group that you chose. Make sure that you scroll down into the description box and move on to round 2, where you can choose another group in order to receive an even more personalized reading for yourself, group number 1, and even more information that the divine wants you to receive. So I'll see you over in part 2 of your reading. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Coffee Obsidian as well as the Austera Tarot deck. I will show you a close-up of both. So here we have the Coffee Obsidian. This is what it looks like. It's this beautiful speckled stone. Absolutely gorgeous. Amazing choice, group number 2. And then let's have a look at the Austera Tarot deck. This is what it looks like. It's really beautiful. It has these silver gilded edges. So it's definitely a deck that I would recommend adding to your collection. Group number 2, just FYI, all of the crystal rings that I'm wearing are linked down below in the description box. They're from my very own collection on my website. So we have 2 cards that popped right out of the pile. Let's find out what they are. We have the King of Coins as well as the 8 of Swords, group number 2. So one thing that I can see here in group number 2 is that you are being called to be careful when it comes to your money. So don't trust anyone with your finances right now, group number 2. Make sure that you're being very closed off, that you're being very guarded, and that you're taking amazing care of your financial standpoint. I can see here in the King of Coins in conjunction to the 8 of Swords that this person may be trying to deceive you, okay? As you can see here in the King of Coins, we have someone who we're not quite sure whether they're trustworthy or not, right? Because they don't exactly look inviting or welcoming. They look like they're observant, like they're trying to figure out what they can do in order to amass more riches. As you can see here, they have this crown full of riches, and I can see here in the 8 of Swords that they wouldn't be afraid to pull the wool over your eyes, okay, to kind of make a move that goes behind your back and where you can't really see that they're actually being insincere. So the King of Coins wants to do things for their benefit, and they will do so even if they step on your toes or harm you financially. So this could be a work colleague, for example, that you know would love to snatch your position, but this could also be a salesperson trying to sell you something without keeping in mind that this may hurt you financially or this is something that you don't need, but all that they're thinking about is their own benefit. So we have another card that popped right out of the pile, which is the Six of Wands. So in the Six of Wands, I do see here that you can protect yourself, group number 2, and it's important for you to do so in a very smart and playful manner. So you don't have to tell them right after this reading or right as you see them coming towards you that you understand that they may be insincere or that they're only trying to make money off of you. You can first give them the benefit of the doubt. You can listen, figure out what they're all about, and then just kindly decline or tell them that you'll get back to them. Either way, here in the Six of Wands, the universe is trying to communicate to you, group number 2, not to feel pressured, okay? Not to allow anyone to make you feel pressured to purchase something, even if they say, well, they took the time to explain it to you or they went out of their way to try and pitch the sale. If you did not ask for anyone to sell something to you, I mean, even if you did, it is completely your right, group number 2, to say no, okay? Protect your finances first before you're worried about someone else's feelings. Next up, we have the Star. So group number 2, moving on to some more messages the divine wants you to receive. I can see here in the Star that will make you feel a lot better about life, about everything. That will allow you to live in a more harmonious way, group number 2. And let me tell you why. When you're spending money because you feel like you have to, that just shows that you are unable to put your foot down, right? It shows that you have a hard time setting boundaries with other people, and what happens is that you lose trust in yourself and your ability to protect yourself, group number 2. So when you create boundaries, when you say no to people, when you really only invest money in things that you are 100% sure of, you feel more harmony because you don't only have more financial means, but at the same time you also trust yourself, and you know that you can't get yourself in a situation where some sleazy salesperson just talks you into spending more money than you really can, or talks you into even getting yourself into debt that you will have to burden, you will have to stem for the next years potentially of your life. Next, we have the Ace of Cups. So in the Ace of Cups, I do see here that fulfillment is a divine message that the universe has for you, group number 2. And this fulfillment comes in conjunction to the inner harmony that you can create with these boundaries, that you don't have to lay down aggressively. Like we spoke about in the Six of Wands, you don't have to say no in an aggressive manner. You can still hear people out, but take those blinders off, group number 2. Make sure you're not allowing anyone who is just, seemingly successful or seemingly knows what they're talking about to con you out of your money. No, group number 2, you are way smarter than that, and it's about time that you prove that to yourself as well. I can see here in these Seven of Wands that they may be persistent and they may have a lot of conviction to kind of get you to a place where you trust them and to spend that extra money. As I said, that's all tied to this salesperson, to this person that is trying to grow their finances, even if it's at the cost of your financial abundance. But that's where you just have to be even more persistent in your conviction to create harmony for yourself and more trust with yourself financially, group number 2. So your reading is truly about learning how to trust yourself financially, learning how to trust yourself around money, and ensuring that you don't allow for anyone to talk you into bad financial decisions that will affect you. Furthermore, we have Kuan Yin, group number 2. In Kuan Yin, You are being called to choose to be love. Do what's right for everyone involved. Just think about it, especially if this is like a friend or a family member and they're trying to give you financial advice, but you're not really feeling it, or you know it's not going to be great for you. Choosing to be love and choosing to do what's right for everyone involved is to ensure that you don't feel taken advantage of. It is to ensure that your financial health stays where you would like it to be, because when you give in, it may in the short term be what the other person wanted, but in the long term, that isn't loving to anyone, to any situation, because you may hold a grudge, you may feel down, and that will weigh down the relationship with them as well. And just the karma that they're creating for themselves, of course, it's not your responsibility to create good karma for another person, but keep in mind that if you care about someone, setting boundaries, saying no, is in a sense your way of creating good karma for them, because it's one less person that they can quote unquote force or talk into doing something that the person really doesn't want to do or may really not be healthy for the other person. And when you're dealing with people who are selfish or who are narcissistic, they can often fail to see that, group number 2, but that's where you can step in. Next, we have Freya, group 2. In Freya, I can see here that there's a beginning within every ending, group number 2, and illusions are revealed and released. So group 2, it is essential for you to know that even if you draw lines, if you say that something is a no for you financially when it comes to an investment that you're not comfortable with, don't feel like that has to be the end of that relationship, or that means that the relationship can only go downhill from then on out. Group number 2, it's important for you to know here in Freya that there are different phases and cycles, and you coming from a place of love and doing what's right for everyone involved. If that scares someone off, then so be it, but do know here in Freya that the universe is communicating to you that even while someone may not like your decision, they're bound to come back. They're bound to try and come back into your life, because deep down they know that your decision was necessary to protect yourself and to create a harmonious life. Next up, we have the 8 of Crystals, group number 2. In the 8 of Crystals, I can see things moving very rapidly, and I can see them moving forward in one specific direction. Let's figure out what that direction is all about. We have the Sun reversed, so there's a little bit of a holdup before you're able to live that abundant life that you want to, but in the meantime, the Sun reverse is still a really positive card. So I do want you to know here in the 8 of Crystals that you're moving towards not having a care in the world. Basically giving 0 Fs, group number 2, if you know what I mean. And that's something to be proud of and something that you should continue to embrace. I can see here in the Page of Diamonds that an earth sign is someone who may help you embrace that even more. So think a Taurus, a Capricorn, a Virgo, just someone who has that stable, dependable earth sign energy. And I do want you to know that they are a big part of your happiness. So it may be romantic, it may also be platonic. I can see here in the 7 of Swords reversed, group number 2, that last but not least, one of the most important things for you to do is to not be so set on just one ideology or on just one idea of who you are or what you're meant to do in life. I do see here that you consider yourself to be open-minded, but there may be certain aspects of yourself that you haven't looked at in detail, but are actually not as open-minded as you thought that they would. Okay, so some preconceived notion, some prejudice. It could be, for example, when you come in contact with other people and they're wearing a certain thing, they look a certain way, they talk a certain way, you may already have your own stories that you make up in your head about their background or what kind of person that they truly are. So I can see here in the 7 of Swords reverse, group number 2, that paying close attention to what you think when you're out there in the world and what type of stories that you create about others or the world is truly going to help you become more open, more enlightened, enlightened and, in a sense, less attached to any specific ideologies, outcomes, or specific goals that you quote unquote have to accomplish. And that will allow you to be happier in the moment with whatever is present for you right now. So group number 2, this is part 1 of your reading. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Leave a little owl emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that this is group 1 that you chose. So now scroll down into the description box and click another timestamp in order to receive your very own round 2 of this reading, which will just allow for an even more personalized reading and approach to the divine messages that you must receive. So group number 2, I'll see you over in part 2 of your reading. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Mystic Mondays Tarot deck as well as the Orange Calcite. I'll show you a close-up of both. So first up, we have the Orange Calcite, which is this beautiful gemstone. It is just full of so much vitality as well as joy. Amazing choice, group number 3. And these are the Mystic Monday Tarot cards. They're really beautiful. They have this beautiful silver gilded edges, and they're just a joy to use and to work with. So let's move into your reading in order to figure out what divine messages that you must receive, group number 3. First up, we have the Queen of Swords. So group number 3, in the Queen of Swords, there is an air sign who is going to affect you. There's an air sign who has an important message for you or an important lesson. So with an air sign, think Aquarius, Gemini, but also Libra. So those are the signs that are affected. They may be an air sign, not just in their sun sign, aka their zodiac sign, but maybe also their moon or rising sign. Next, we have the Magician reversed. So group 3, in the Magician reversed, I do see here in the Queen of Swords, well, in conjunction to the Queen of Swords, that an important message that you have to hear is that this person who is going to be affecting your life is going to help you problem solve. They're going to help you get to know your strength in a different way. Now, this may be because you're going to have to help them through a difficult time, or because they are going to put you in a situation where you have no other choice but to be strong. I can see here in the 10 of Pentacles that this is actually going to serve you immensely financially. So in the 10 of Pentacles, we have financial abundance as well as overall fulfillment, happiness, feeling like you have more financial abundance than you even know what to do with. So I can see here that it's important for you to give thanks to anyone, even if it is this air sign who has made life a little challenging or difficult for you, or who is teaching you lessons in a way that maybe seems a little cutthroat or a little harsh. Okay, so this could even be someone who's giving you advice, but it is in a very direct way that can sometimes make you feel a little uneasy or even hurt your feelings, group number 3. But I see here in the 10 of Pentacles that that will teach you such valuable lessons that you will be grateful for. It's no coincidence that a lot of people who are highly successful come from difficult backgrounds. They come from backgrounds where they've struggled financially, where they've struggled emotionally with their surroundings, their community, or even their parents not supporting them or not being there for them the way they needed them to. But in the end, they reach this abundance in the earthly realms, both financially as well as spiritually, because they've been through so much, and that helped them build so much strength and resilience. Next, we have Strength. Group number 3, do we even need the cards? Like, sincerely, the Strength card showing up right as we were talking about literally strength. It is a sign that the universe is present with you in your reading, group number 3, and that this just confirms the entire notion of what we spoke about, that it's important to also give thanks to whoever made life a little difficult or made you feel like looking at yourself through a different lens. I can see here in the Devil, group number 3, that there are definitely some temptations out there. So this is something that you're maybe dealing with when it comes to substances. Maybe you're addicted to coffee, aka caffeine. You know, tea also has caffeine. Even decaf tea still has up to, I think, 30 or 40% of what regular tea has. Same goes for decaf coffee, so be careful with that. Group number 3, it could be, you know, alcoholic beverages, other substances. I do want you to know here in the Devil that you will be tempted to fall back into that type of old self of yours, group number 3, so be aware of that and make sure that you stay on track or that you get added emotional support if needed. Next, we have the Queen of Diamonds reversed. So in the Queen of Diamonds reversed, I can see that you're stepping away from feeling like financial accomplishments define you, and in conjunction to the 10 of Pentacles, I do want you to know that this is a sign that you're really maturing, group number 3. Rather than how things were in the past, where you maybe defined yourself by certain labels that you were wearing or certain things that you were able to purchase yourself, I can see here in the Queen of Diamonds that you're completely growing away from that, moving away from that. The more successful you become, it's like the less you care about what you look like, what things look like to the outside world, what your status seems to be. You just don't care about that, group number 3, and that just shows that you're so secure in yourself. So we had a few cards that popped right out of the pile. Group number 3, should we see what they are? I think we should. So we have the Wheel of Fortune, we have the 10 of Diamonds reversed, we have the 8 of Cups, as well as Judgment reversed. So this is a lot to take in, group number 3. I hope you're ready. In the Wheel of Fortune upright, I can see here that there is a luck that's on your side. And yes, it may not be the easiest to resist certain urges to fall back into old patterns or old habits that you may have had, old habits of not taking care of yourself or even self-harm. But it is important for you to keep in mind that ups and downs are normal. If you've been through difficult times in your life, you will have moments where you want to give up or where you want to fall back into your old coping mechanisms. I can see here in the 10 of Diamonds reversed in conjunction to the Wheel of Fortune that this may slow your roll when it comes to your financial abundance. So try to completely cut that out and avoid that, group number 3, because you don't need it and because it is truly something that is just going to slow your roll in the long run. That is not necessary. In the 8 of Cups, step away, leave that situation completely. If you feel like you're with friends or family who want you to fall back into old patterns or who almost like encourage you to not be successful. I mean, have you been to that party where you're like, oh, you know, I don't want to drink, or I have to go home at a certain time because I need to work or I need to study, I need to get up early, whatever it is that your commitment is, and you know, people are just like, oh, just stay a little longer. So they know that you have to prepare for something that's important to you, that your success depends on, but at the same time, like, they're trying to get you to not do that. They're trying to lure you into staying longer or drinking more or partaking in something that is not going to help you accomplish your goals. So that is where I can see here in the 8 of Cups that just simply walking away from that is the strength and the courage that you're building up within yourself, as we spoke about here in Strength. We had the Judgment card reversed, group number 3, which again, 0 F's given from you, okay? You are learning to be so mature to the point where you really do not care what others may think, but you just care about accomplishing your goals and living in your truth, living in your purpose. And if anyone else has something negative to say about that, then that is their issue, group number 3. As I can see here in the Judgment card reverse, that you're not allowing that to affect your choices any longer. I see here in the Empress, group number 3, that surprisingly, you may have never really been into children, or you may have never felt that maternal, but I can see here in the Empress that being centered and feeling abundant is something that you may think of in conjunction to adding to your family. So children may be a topic of the conversation, maybe adding more children. It could even be fur babies into your family. Just taking on more responsibility that makes you feel centered as well as good, and like you're creating a little sun warrior, like you're creating a little light worker warrior that is ready to go out into this world. And don't feel like it has to be a human baby. Group number 3, fur babies count just as much. Next, we have the Ace of Cups. So group number 3, a divine message that you have to receive is that there is a fresh relationship coming into your life. And in conjunction to the Empress, this speaks of fertility. This speaks of, this new relationship could be a baby. It could be someone who is dependent on you. It could be a puppy, a little kitten, another little baby animal, or just an animal in general that has to depend on you for food, water, shelter, and so on. I can see here in the Ace of Cups in correspondence to the Empress that this is a magical connection that's coming into your life sooner rather than later. Group number 3, it may come out of complete left sight, okay, maybe something that is completely unexpected to you, but I do want you to know that the universe has brought you here in order to make you aware of it now, in order to show you already now that that's the direction that your life is heading into. So, group number 3, we are at the end of part 1 of your reading, and I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Leave a little baby emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it to this point of your reading, and feel free to scroll down into the description box to add the second block to your reading in order to receive an even more personalized combination of messages that were meant for you, group number 2. So all that is below in the description box. Make sure that I see you over in round 2 of your reading. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Modern Witch Tarot deck as well as the Vanadinite crystal. I'll show you a close-up of both. So first up, we have the Vanadinite. This is what it looks like. This is a beautiful deep red crystal. It is so sparkly. It's definitely one of my faves. This is what it looks like on the back. So it has a very discreet back, but then the top is just boom, wow, it's here. So let's move into your reading with your Modern Witch Tarot deck. This is what it looks like. It has these beautiful baby blue backs of the cards. And for any of you wondering, group number 4, all of my crystal rings will be linked down below in the description box. They're all from my crystal store. So first we have the 10 of Swords. Group number 4, in the 10 of Swords, I can see here that you have to really take care of yourself, okay? This reading is a wake-up call for you, group number 4, and the universe is trying to grab your attention right from the start of this reading. So don't be distracted, group number 4. Don't be distracted like we have here in the 10 of Swords, where you're just looking into your phone while you have all of these daggers in you, while everything around you is kind of like burning down. It is important for you to pay attention and to stop being so influenced or distracted by social media or the media in general. Next up, we have the Emperor. The Emperor is all about taking control of your life, taking charge, and saying what comes next, what you're doing next. So if you feel like you've lost control over your life, group number 4, then this is the wake-up call. This is the reading for you, because in the Emperor we have that empowered version of who you are. We have that version of you that is taking charge, that isn't afraid to step into their highest, most authoritative energy. And group number 4, this is something that you're being called to embrace, and this is the only way out of a miserable situation. So if you've been experiencing turmoil or depression, or you don't quite know what to do next in your life, it's up to you, group number 4, but you have to put your best foot forward. You have to take the leap. You have to show up for yourself. No one else is going to do it for you. Next, we have the Seven of Wands. So group 4 in the Seven of Wands, I can definitely see here that determination is something that you'll find pretty early on in your journey to taking over your life, right? And being like the king, the queen of your life. I want you to know here in the Seven of Wands that fighting against all adversity, making your way through any challenges, no matter how difficult they may seem, or no matter how alone that you feel here, as we can see in the Seven of Wands, is just a part of your journey. And do know that through struggle and through challenges, you can build a lot of discipline and a lot of trust in yourself. Next up, we have the Ten of Cups. So nevertheless, group number 4, I can see that your personal life is in an amazing place, and a divine message that you have to receive is to see the good, to see all of the healthy family members, friends, just people in your community, the ones who are thriving, rather than just focusing on where the difficulties lie. Or maybe you even struggle with some mental illnesses or difficulties, maybe physical ailments or impairments, and it can make you kind of see things from a standpoint that is a little cloudy, or that is judging everything too harshly. So do know here in the Ten of Cups that having mostly, healthy, fulfilling relationships in your life, that's already a win. Not everything is going to be perfect. That's what being a human is all about, living in an imperfect world. But as long as you can embrace those imperfect moments and relationships, you're going to feel so much more happy, group number 4. And that is something that the universe wants to remind you to do, because it's easy to forget. I mean, we're all guilty of it, group number 4, so don't beat yourself up. Next, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So group 4 in the Nine of Pentacles, guard your financial belongings, okay? There may be someone who's going to come to you and ask for help when it comes to finances, when it comes to the earthly realms. And it's important for you to take good care of your financial status, okay, of your money, no matter how much or how little you have. If you can't control $5, you won't be able to control $5 million. So keep that in mind, and know here in conjunction to the Seven of Wands that people may try to sell you things in a really pushy way, like guilt tripping you into doing it, or making you feel like if you don't do it, there's something wrong with you. But that's where, in conjunction to the Nine of Pentacles, you have to just sever those ties, group number 4, and create a clear barrier, a clear line between what you're going to do and what you're comfortable with and what you're definitely not engaging in. Next, we have the Three of Cups. So group 4 in the Three of Cups, I do see here that, again, when it comes to your relationships, they're on an all-time high. They're in a great place. I can see in the Ten of Cups that your family life, your community, all of that is in a really healthy place. And in the Three of Cups, there are parties coming up. So maybe birthdays, that is a big one that's coming up in conjunction to your community, maybe even your own birthday. So try to remember those. And I can also see in the Three of Cups that it's essential for you to partake in any gatherings. So if people are spending time with one another, don't be afraid to be part of it, group number 4, and don't shy away. I see here in the Queen of Pentacles that it seems like you have a lot of responsibility on your shoulder in the earthly realms, group number 4, like you have to always sacrifice time or money to help others. And this is definitely something that isn't easy, but it's also even more so reason why you have to be smart with finances and make sure that you live frugally and that you don't spend any money in a way that feels even in the slightest bit uncomfortable. Next, we have the Four of Cups. So group 4 in the Four of Cups, I do see here that when it comes to feeling emotionally fulfilled, you just need like a little bit more time to yourself. I can see here in the 10 of Cups as well as the 3 of Cups that all of this happiness and joy and like parties, get-togethers can make you feel really overwhelmed, and you feel good about it, but at the same time drained. And it's almost like you feel like it's not your place to have any negative emotion, because that would make you ungrateful, group number 4. And I can definitely see that judging yourself or being hard on yourself is something that you're no stranger to. So group number 4, we had 4 cards that just popped right out of the pile, which is the 9 of Wands, the Emperor, the 8 of Wands, as well as the 2 of Swords. So let's delve into it. One thing that I find so interesting for you, group number 4, is how the Emperor has showed up in your reading twice. What are the odds, right? Within 78 cards per deck. I can see here in the Emperor that very strong-willed type of energy is one thing that you're developing more of. I see you growing into this person who is really no BS, who is not taking negativity from no one, whether it's a family member, whether it's someone who you were close friends with, a teacher, just a work colleague. I can see here in the Emperor that you're building your own wisdom and your own belief in yourself up to a point where no one can ever make you question your reality again. I can see here in the 8 of Wands that living in alignment with your core beliefs is one of those goals that you have, group number 4, and it's something that you're super passionate about accomplishing and achieving. And it makes sense, because if you're the type of person who feels as though others should live in alignment, and you know that boundaries, that kind of being the center, the main character of your own life is something that you would tell a good friend to do, you have to live that for yourself, group number 4. You can't just give others advice but not walk your talk, right? So I can definitely see that in the 2 of Swords, you may try to avoid taking action. You may try to avoid finally being that person, finally exposing that Emperor energy in yourself, that yes, you can be cutthroat, or you can say no, and you can just look out for yourself, even if some people may try to make you feel like it's selfish. I can see that in the end, that's the part of you that you're going to be embracing, and that's what's going to help you out of feeling like you've lost control over situations in your life. I can see here in the 9 of Wands that some people may feel like it's a test of strength. Okay, so if you have anyone in your family who feels threatened by you, I do want you to know here in the 9 of Wands that they may try to get you back into a place where you're more submissive or where you're easier to control. They may play on your insecurities, but that's where, in conjunction to the 10 of Cups, the 3 of Cups, you have to spend time with people who are positive and people who you know won't push your buttons as soon as they see you as a threat. And even if that's a small circle of people, embrace those and remind yourself of just how blessed you are to even have that small circle of friends, because many people have no one, group number 4. So group 4, this is the reading that I received for you, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Leave a palm tree emoji down below, and now scroll down into the description box and pick your part 2 to this part 1 of your reading, so you can receive even more personalized messages and basically a personal reading for yourself with more divine messages that the universe urgently wants you to receive. So I'll see you over during part 2 of your reading. Hello, group number 5, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Divine Feather Messenger Oracle deck as well as the Amethyst Crystal. I'll show you a close-up of both. Let's start off with the Amethyst, shall we? So this is the beautiful specimen of Amethyst that you chose, group number 5. It is absolutely divine and gorgeous. In case you didn't know, this stone is a stone that helps you with your intuition. It helps strengthen your intuition as well as your psychic abilities. So that may be why you intuitively felt drawn to this stone, but maybe you also just liked its appearance. So you also chose the Divine Feather Messenger Oracle deck. Let's figure out who this feather belongs to, shall we? First up, we have the Crow. Group number 5, in the Crow, an important message that the universe wants you to receive is that universal laws and truths are now being revealed for you. Use this energy to create your reality. So, group number 5, the more you have truths that are being revealed around you, be it about who people truly are or how this world truly functions, you may feel scared, but you can also use that truth in order to serve you. One thing that I do is that I use the truth instead of it scaring me by understanding that we're all just humans and we all mess up. And, there are even humans in the most important areas of life, such as in surgeries that can affect other people's lives forever if the person performing the surgery just only has a bad day. Knowing all of those things, knowing all of those truths, that at the end of the day, we're all just as good as each other and we're all just as accurate as the next person. That is something that can bring you panic, but it's also something that can give you the opportunity to be a little bit more compassionate and understanding of when things in a system don't work out the way that they really should. Next, we have the white owl. So in the white owl, I can see a divine message for you that the wisdom and the messages of the divine are within you, group number 5. So instead of looking for wisdom from exterior sources, from the outside, dive within, group number 5. You have more knowledge and wisdom than you ever expected, especially in conjunction to your lineage. So you may actually be surprised about certain aspects of your lineage and certain aspects of your ancestors. And that is something that may have passed down a lot of sacred knowledge to you that you're just not tapping into enough. Next, we have the goose. So group 5 in the goose, I can see here that your dreams and desires are calling you to action and the journey begins today. So group 5, this reading is so important for you to have received so that you understand that as things are shifting and moving, a fresh journey and cycle of your life is beginning today, as from the moment of you watching this reading. So you are truly going to receive some information that is going to alter the way that you see things and alter the way you move forward. So allow for these messages to be taken in and taken seriously. Next, we have the 6 of Cups. So group 5, in the 6 of Cups, I see you being the center of attention at a gathering. Another person, a group of people, an institution celebrating you and celebrating a great accomplishment of yours. So this is something that is going to put you almost like on a little bit of a pedestal and in a different area code than you've been up until this point. So think a great accomplishment at work or graduation, just overall something that puts you in a different area code. Next, we have the world. I can see you feeling really fulfilled through that, and I can see that the journey to this begins today, the journey to success and you being celebrated and you being seen for who you truly are and validated in it. That is something that is beginning today for you, group number 5. So this fresh chapter that is going to have this culmination of happiness, joy, and everything that you need and more as part of the journey. That is all beginning today. So this is a life-changing reading for you. We have in the Chariot things moving very quickly and things proceeding forward, group number 5. So don't worry about timing. Don't worry about whether you're able to do things quickly enough. Know that things are going to move very quickly on their own without you pushing. So we have a few cards that popped out of the pile: the Fool, the Queen of Cups, as well as the Hermit. Let's begin with the Fool. So group 5 in the Fool, again, we have this fresh adventure. The Fool is a card of the major arcana in the tarot that describes a fresh beginning. I mean, the Fool corresponds to the number 0. It is literally the first card of the major arcana, group number 5. So this ties in so beautifully with the goose and your journey beginning today that is going to end in this amazing culmination of the world. We also have the Queen of Cups. So in the Queen of Cups, I can see this type of water sign energy that leaves you feeling content and in control over your emotions. So you don't feel like you're a slave to your feelings and your emotions. You feel like you are actually in control of them and like you don't have to hide any of them, right? And like you are the person who decides what you feel hung up about and what not. I can see here in the Hermit, group number 5, that the structure of your journey is one that can feel a little bit lonely and that can feel like you're being put in front of a mirror a lot, right? Like there's a lot of reflection that needs to be done, a lot of introspection. And this is something that you've maybe been avoiding depending on what the topic of conversation is, group number 5, but I don't want you to be afraid of this. I mean, so far you're reading foreshadows and foretells a really amazing new chapter in your life. Next up, we have the 5 of Swords. So in the 5 of Swords, group number 5, beware of snakes, okay? Beware of people who say one thing but do another, and people who just overall don't have your best interests at heart, because the world is sadly crawling in those, and it's important for you to protect yourself and to ensure that when you reach this new level, this new status, or you just have this status symbol that symbolizes to society or to other people that you have leveled up, there will be a lot of people who just want to come closer to you because of that. So keep those people who have been there from day one close by, group 5. Beware of phony friends. Oh, okay, we have more snakes, group number 5. Wow. You are really like sought after, group 5. I can see here in the 5 of Cups that, you know, snakes are not always a sign that is to be interpreted as something negative. But in context to your reading, I can definitely see here that the snake is not necessarily just a symbol of your rebirth, but also a symbol of feeling like, oh, who can you trust, right? Who can you really confide in? Because it seems like the bigger you get or the more successful you are, the more people are just around you because of that. And it can be hard to know who your true friends are. I can see here in the 7 of Cups that it's important for you to not be deceived by the show that some of these people may put on. Some people may try to make themselves look better, wealthier, more established just in order to impress you. So beware of that, because there is insecurity around some people who are trying to get closer to you. And I can also see here in the 5 of Wands, sorry, the 4 of Wands, group number 5 is what I meant to say, that just overall staying close to people who are protective over you is something that will serve you. So if you're just this little tiny rabbit here and you have someone who is feeding you, who's giving you what you need, who is protecting you, who is there for you, I can see that that's something that will serve you in a way of reminding you that you have people who are sincere, you have people who are not just wanting to take advantage over your new status and over the fact that things are going great for you, group number 5, but you know that they're genuine and you know that they're there regardless of whatever it is that you're going through. So group number 5, your reading is a little bit of a torn one, right? You have really awesome news, a new journey, a new beginning that starts for you today. Things will move very quickly. You may be confronted by a lot of emotion, but nevertheless, this is an awesome reading that is going to come to this almost like culmination of happiness, of great success. But at the same time, you have a lot of people who see that, who are maybe jealous or who maybe want a little piece of your cake that you have to make sure you protect. So steer clear of anyone who isn't trustworthy. Group 5, leave a rabbit emoji down below in the comment section if this resonated and you made it to this point of your reading. Make sure that you scroll down into the description box and pick your corresponding part 2 so you can add on to this reading and receive an even more personalized version of your reading with more information and more important divine messages that the universe has for you. So I'll see you over during part 2 of your reading. Welcome everyone. By now you have received the first part of your reading, so this is where you get to pick part 2. So we have group A, B, and C. So I would like you to pick your part 2 intuitively. Go with whichever one of these groups that you feel resonates the most with you. And I'll give you a quick moment of privacy just so you can meditate on the 3 groups in order to decide. So by now you've hopefully made up your mind and you know which group that you're going to choose in order to add on to the first reading that you just received. So I will be starting off these round 2 readings with the first group, which corresponds to group A, and to group B and C I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello Group A and welcome to your reading. So this is the butterfly that you chose. Excellent choice Group A. Let's figure out what more important messages are here for you. So we have the Priestess as well as Justice. So these are 2 cards of the major arcana in the tarot Group A. These are very important life events. I can see here in the Priestess that illumination and knowledge is coming towards you. So think another spiritual awakening or your first spiritual awakening if you've never had one, and just a big epiphany, a big aha moment. I can see here in Justice that is going to create a deep understanding within you as well as karmic balance, which is something that you may have been looking for, and that's just going to allow you to feel a lot more relaxed about where you're heading on your spiritual journey, but also as a human being in general with your health, both physically as well as mentally. I can see here in Strength Group A that strength is something that is going to be on your side, and this spiritual awakening that is coming for you is something that's going to allow you to experience an increase in strength, especially mentally, and that's going to give you a deeper understanding as to why certain things have transpired in your life and why it's also important for you to not blame yourself for any kind of shortcomings. Next up, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So Group A in the Knight of Pentacles, I can see that there's someone who's coming towards you who has earth sign energy. Now, in order to know who that person is, know that they have strong energies in the sign of Virgo, Taurus, as well as Capricorn. And I do want you to know here in the Knight of Pentacles that they're in the midst of building their career, in midst of figuring out where they're going with their financial life in the earthly realms, and they feel as though they're the type of person who can supply you with more strength and support. They want to be a part of your life and they want to see you grow as well. I can see here in the 8 of Cups Group A that for you, you may have felt abandoned, or just abandonment issues may be something that you've dealt with. If you've been left by a good friend or family members have kind of let you down in the past, I can see that you may have a very hard time trusting this Knight of Pentacles person, especially after the illumination of your spiritual awakening and seeing everything from a different standpoint, and just being so happy and kind of pleased with yourself for all of the strength that you've gained. You of course don't want anything to take that away, right? You don't want to put yourself in a vulnerable position. You don't want to allow vulnerability to be something that ends up being a downfall for you. But I want to remind you, Group A, that an important message that you have to receive here in the Strength card is that strength is something that comes through vulnerability. Strength is something that comes when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, when you allow the world to know that you're vulnerable and you're okay with it, that you're putting yourself out there no matter what may happen, because you trust and love yourself so much that you know no matter what comes your way, you're going to be able to get yourself back up. Next, we have the 10 of Pentacles. So this is a highly favorable card, Group A. This is a card that speaks of financial fulfillment, of your family being put together, of having enough time and resources in every aspect to be able to just enjoy life with the people who matter the most, Group A. So this is a very favorable card. Let's see in conjunction to what it's showing up. I can see here in the 7 of Cups that you have a choice, Group A, and it may not always be clear to you because, you know, some choices aren't so great, like this tornado or the snake. That might seem like it's not the best choice at times, right? But sometimes what isn't the best choice maybe is the rose. Maybe romance isn't like the best choice when you're focusing on your work, but nevertheless, it's a choice. Just because it's not a good one doesn't mean that it's not a choice. So do know here in these 7 of Cups, Group A, that having a lot of choices is something that once you become aware of how many choices you have, good or bad, without grading them, without giving the choices any specific, like assigning specific value to the different options in your life, you will feel so much more abundant and you will feel so much more happy in what you've created for yourself. Because just think about it, Group A. Yeah, you could have made a choice to do certain things differently in your life, and those may have been bad choices. Like you could have chosen to not care about your education. You could have chosen to not care about the planet or animals or other human beings and to just always look out for yourself. It wasn't a choice that was good to you, so you didn't make it, but you avoided that choice because you are a kind person, Group A, and that's worth celebrating. Just because you didn't make the choice to hurt another human being or cause agony to an animal or a situation, even though you could have, like that doesn't mean that it wasn't a choice, right? You just stood above that. You were just the person who didn't want to make that an option for yourself, and it's worth celebrating. It's worth highlighting, really, and giving yourself that recognition, saying like, yeah, I had the choice to do the wrong thing, and it wasn't even a choice for me. I didn't even make it an option, but nevertheless, it really actually was an option, and I'm proud of myself for living in a space where my integrity is where it needs to be and where my moral compass is in a place that not only serves me, but others as well. Next, we have the 2 of Swords. So Group A, in the 2 of Swords, I can see that an important message for you to receive is to stop avoiding making decisions. So Group A, I'm not trying to call you out, but the universe clearly is, and it's important for you to stop putting off tasks or decisions that need to be made. In conjunction to the tiger, you know, be strong. Remind yourself of the bad bee that you are, okay? Of the strong unicorn that you are, and make a decision, whether it's the perfect decision, whether it ends up having been a decision that you felt was wrong or not. Keep in mind here in the 2 of Swords that you won't be able to move forward unless you finally decide, unless you finally make a decision. So give yourself that, allow yourself to make a decision. It's important, Group A. If not, you will remain stagnant. It doesn't matter whether it was the perfect choice, but just make a choice and choose to move forward in that. Leave a tiger emoji down below, Group A, if you're still with me. Next, we have the 8 of Cups. Group A, in the 8 of Cups, I can definitely see you abandoning things that stress you out emotionally. I see that in conjunction to the 2 of Swords. So just make sure, Group A, that you're not abandoning things that stress you out that you know need to be done, but you're just abandoning things that stress you out that are like toxic, that are bad for you. Don't try to say, oh, I don't need this toxic energy when someone is asking you to do the dishes or someone is asking you to help out around the house or something like that, okay? That is not negativity. That is just you being confronted about something that you need to still help with or do, okay? There's a difference, Group A, but do make sure that you're making that distinct difference and that choice in a way that serves you in the long run, okay? Don't just try to avoid things that you know need to be done. Next, we have the Strength card again. Group A, do we even need the cards? I feel like the universe is just communicating directly with us within your reading, Group A. So in the Strength card, we definitely just have a confirmation of what we spoke about in Strength earlier. And I can see here in the 3 of Cups that it is very essential for you to have fun. It is essential for you to partake in gatherings or parties, and don't feel like you're alone in this world, Group A, because you're not. I can see here in the Eight of Cups that you're sometimes worried about how other people see you or whether you're really fun to be around, and this overthinking has cost you a lot of fun and joy, especially emotionally with other people. So the universe is trying to wake you up, Group A, and is trying to teach you how to just forget about that, to not overthink things, and to remind yourself that just as much as you overthink things about yourself, other people also overthink things about themselves. So no one is ever actually that concerned with another human being, because we're all just so concerned with ourselves. So keep that in mind, Group A, that is like the case 99% of the time. So why sweat it? So Group A, this is the reading, the part 2 of your reading that I received. I really hope that it was a seamless and accurate, as well as healing addition to the first group that you ended up choosing. Let me know down below if you appreciate this type of video, this type of a personal reading format. Know that I'm sending you so much love. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, especially if this is the first time that you've been here. And I'll catch you in another one of my videos. Hello, Group B, and welcome to your part 2 of your reading. So you chose this beautiful butterfly. It is absolutely gorgeous. Amazing choice, Group B. Here's a little close-up of it. So let's move into your reading in order to figure out what more divine messages that you need to receive that are tailored to you. So first up, we have the Four of Wands as well as the Seven of Wands. So we have a lot of wand energy for you, Group B. Now, what does that mean? The Suit of Wands corresponds to the element of fire and also fire signs, okay? Aries, Leo, as well as Sagittarians. I do want you to know here in the Four of Wands that regardless of whether you're a fire sign or not, you have a lot of that fiery energy around you, and it is creating prosperity as well as harmony for you, Group B. So if you're ever in doubt of whether you're coming off too strong, doing too much, or putting in too much energy, you're not, Group B. Continue on with it. It's creating prosperity for you. Now's the time to put your energy into projects. I can see here in the Seven of Wands that being persistent and having this conviction within you, it is what is going to lead ultimately to that prosperity as well as harmony within your life. Because if you are not into something or passionate about something yourself, how are you going to find anyone else to believe in you, Group B, right? That would be really difficult. So keep in mind here that you being persistent and living in harmony with your beliefs and the things that you truly love and are passionate about, that is ultimately what is going to create success for you. I can see here in the Two of Swords reversed, Group B, that a lot of decisions that you've made need to be followed through with first before it's time to make any more decisions. That is what I see in the Two of Swords reversed. So if this card was upright, okay, then the universe would be telling you, make a decision already. It's been a long time. Do so intuitively. But because this card showed up reversed, it is important for you to first tie up any loose ends that are in your life, Group B, and to make sure that you follow through on what you said you would follow through with, that you finish what you started. That's what's so important. I can see here in the Devil, Group B, wow, the universe is really calling you out, that there are some distractions around you. It could be social media, it could be partying, it could be alcohol, other substances, it could be even caffeine that you're drinking even though you know that your sleep pattern isn't the best. Like, Group B, duh, cut that out, you know? So it is important for you to know here in the Devil that there are certain things that are hindering you from tying up the loose ends as not as quickly but as effectively as you could in a time frame that you can feel proud of. So try and eliminate distractions, people, situations that you know aren't serving your highest good and aren't serving you in being persistent and really coming to that place of prosperity that is up next for you, Group B? I can see here in the Sun reverse, Group B, that nevertheless, you have prosperity coming for you. It's there regardless. That is one thing that you need to know, Group B. But it's just about what the holdup is, how long the holdup will be, and how much time that you want to invest in kind of procrastinating, kind of not doing the things that you need to do, not tying up the loose ends or not finishing the projects that you begun. You're going to have to finish them anyways before you get to this place of prosperity and the Sun being fully embraced in all its bliss and harmony within your life. I can see here in the Wheel of Fortune, Group B, that a great way for you to get yourself to do things that you've been avoiding or maybe even procrastinating is to ask yourself what the alternative is. I mean, really, Group B, what's the alternative? Is the alternative to just have it cost more time if you have to do it anyways? Is the alternative to maybe give some of these projects or tasks to another person, or come clean about the fact that there are some things that you've procrastinated that you don't really want to ever deal with? I mean, ask yourself what the alternative is and then pick what you know works best, okay? So if you know, for example, that tying up a loose end in your DIY area of your house, okay, maybe there's a DIY project you wanted to finish, or there's some new recipes that you wanted to try, but you know that you've been procrastinating it, and the only way that you're really going to do it is if you have that pressure. Tell a friend or a family member, like, bet with them. Tell them, like, if I don't get it done, if I don't try this new thing or finish this project for work or school, then you get $100 from me, just like that. But if I am able to do so, then I get to keep the money. So you can play little games like that. You can use little ways of making yourself to do these things, right? Pressuring yourself into doing it, but in a good way. Next up, we have the King of Diamonds reversed. So in the King of Diamonds reversed, Group B, you are stalling, you're sleeping on a lot of financial abundance, well, a lot more financial growth, abundance, and development by avoiding finishing projects that you know need to be finished and are way overdue. Keep that in mind. There's a reason why you were called to be here within this reading. So make that a part of your thought process. When you're procrastinating, ask yourself if it's worth it, and ask yourself if, looking back on your procrastination, if you would actually just like smack yourself and tell yourself to get on with it. Just do what needs to be done, Group B. Leave a little sun emoji down below in the comment section, and just as a little promise to yourself that you're not going to engage in procrastination anymore. I can see here in the Ace of Swords that putting that sun emoji, just talking about that sun emoji, really brought us to this point, to this new beginning here, where you're taking matters into your own hands, as you can see here, Group B, and you're getting behind your tasks, your goals, with a new conviction, with a new kind of like passion that's accompanying you. And that is just what you needed in order to overcome any slow moments or areas within your career, within your journey. I can see here in the Knight of Swords that being a little bit tough on yourself is sometimes needed. So don't beat yourself up, Group B, but at the same time, don't baby yourself, don't pamper yourself, okay? You have to get going, you have to get moving. And that is an important message that I see here for you from the universe. Next up, we have the Knight of Pentacles. I can see that you have to do so in order to get that financial abundance flowing in the way that you would like to. So you have to change things. You have to try different strategies. You have to overcome procrastination. And these are all things that can be a little nerve-wracking, but I want you to keep in mind, Group B, that at the end of the day, it's all for your highest good. So don't be held back by overthinking. I can see here in the Page of Pentacles that you may have someone who is accompanying you on this journey. So check in with a friend. If a friend is in a similar spot, or they want to start their own business too, or level up in their life romantically, physically, emotionally, financially, check in with one another. I mean, your friend may have a goal of losing or gaining weight. You may have a goal of creating a certain amount of revenue in your business every month, make that public with that friend so you can motivate one another, right? So you can push one another to be the best versions of yourselves that you possibly can be. So Group B, this is the reading that I received for you for your part 2. I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for being here and spending this divine time with me. I hope that you loved the chill atmosphere, the healing vibes, and the fact that you basically received a personal reading. I'm so grateful to have been able to provide this for you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in another one of my videos. Hello Group C, and welcome to part 2 of your reading. So this is the beautiful specimen of a butterfly that you chose. Let's do a quick little close-up. There you go, Group C, amazing choice. Let's move into your reading to figure out what more messages that you must receive. So first we have the Three of Swords. So Group C, one thing that I can see here in the Three of Swords is that there's some sort of release coming for you, but it's going to start off with an upheaval. Let's figure out exactly what that's all about. We have the Four of Rings, and the Four of Rings I can see here that, someone may try to be really stingy around you, may try to hold on too tightly to financial resources or material resources. So it could be someone trying to not give you a promotion, trying to not spend the money that they really should, either on something for you or some sort of like joint thing that you're investing in and they're investing in. And I can definitely see here that it's going to cause friction and an upheaval, but in the end a release and kind of a going to separate ways situation. I can see here in the Chariot, Group C, that it's important for you to hang out with people who are energetically on the same wavelength and just in the same frequency. I can see here in the Chariot that the direction that you're moving into takes a lot of willpower, and allowing for friends or family members who are like energy drainers or vampires to be a part of that journey is just not a very, how should I say, like productive or effective way to go about your life. So I can see that that is just something that you're not just trying to avoid, but you're trying to release any type of feeling of obligation as much as you can. Next we have the Owl. So Group C, in the Owl, we have just like, this is one of my favorite birds. The Owl is all about your intuition being correct and following your inner wisdom without fail. So not second guessing yourself. And this could be really hard, Group C, especially if you are almost like the scapegoat in your family, or you're always being forced to second guess yourself or your abilities. Maybe as a kid by teachers or by just people of authority, you were told that you will never become anything, or like you're not intelligent, smart, pretty, good enough, whatever it is. I want you to know here in the Owl, that is something that you can unlearn. It does take time, but trusting your intuition is something that you can practice, right? You can practice your intuition by pulling tarot cards or oracle cards every day. You can practice your intuition by manifesting, by trying your manifestations out in a very small sense, like trying to manifest a parking spot the next day in a place where it may be difficult to get a parking spot, and just see how your intuition on when to leave your house in order to get there on time to get the spot, and your manifestation skills get better and better. And just how overall you can attract the things that you desire into your life with more ease, the more you get used to setting your mind to a positive outcome and already kind of like telling yourself that you are going to be successful and confirming it. Next up, we have the Osprey. So in the Osprey, I can see that an important message for you, Group C, is that your success is now at hand, and to allow the abundance to follow to you effortlessly. So you may be getting in your own way more often than not, Group C, and that's where it's important for you to remind yourself yourself that your intuition is here to guide you towards success. And I know that sometimes you can tend to be a little bit suspicious about what your intuition really is, what it feels like, and what is the difference between intuition and just sort of like an inexplicable gut feeling. But you know it isn't your intuition. It's like you being influenced by past experiences, right? Those are two different things. One is acting in an empirical manner, so in a manner that you base your decisions off of past outcomes, and one is really acting with this feeling, with this intuitive feeling that you have. And those are two different things, and it's important to get acquainted with what your intuition feels like to you. I mean, for you, your intuition may be a gut feeling, it may be seeing a flashing light, it may be seeing a feather or just something at an important time where you have to make a decision, and then you know that your intuition has spoken. It could be hearing something, it could be just a feeling deep in your heart or one of your chakras. I can see here in the Strength card, Group C, that an important and divine message that you need to hear is that your intuition is already stronger than you ever believed that it was. It's just all about you tapping into it and not being afraid of it, following what your intuition is saying to you without second guessing it or yourself, because your success is at hand, your success is here. But you have to kind of like pick it up, Group C, you know what I mean? And the only way how you can pick it up is by following your intuition and not underestimating yourself and your capabilities, no matter what anyone else may have ever told you. I can see here in the King of Cups, Group C, there may be someone coming into your life who is a water sign. So think someone who is a Scorpio, a Pisces, or a Cancerian. They don't have to be a man just because it says the King of Cups. Don't worry about that. Group C, we don't have to label that, but I do want you to know here in the King of Cups that they have this energy of authority, they have this energy of wisdom, and they're also of a certain age spiritually and emotionally. So they may not be like super old biologically, but they're definitely an old soul. I can see here in the Wheel of Fortune that they're going to change a lot in your life, and that is a divine message that the universe wants to get over to you and wants you to become aware of and understand. So leave a little light bulb emoji, Group C, if you're still with me. And the Ace of Wands, I can see that they're going to spark joy, creativity, and passion in you. So this may be a romantic interest, Group C. This may be someone who kind of like teases you in a sensual way and makes you feel like your spark has been reignited. Next, we have the Temperance card. Okay, you will have to temper yourself, Group C, which leads me to believe that this is definitely someone who is like pushing your buttons in a good way, in a sensual way, in a romantic way. Like you could see yourself being with them intimately, and you find them highly attractive. Now, regardless of whether you're in a relationship or situationship, Group C, I want you to know here that this person is still having your thoughts wander, if you know what I mean, Group C. And in Temperance, like you're holding yourself back and you're trying to make sure that you don't just jump them. Is that the right word, Group C? You know what I mean. Let's move further into it. Next, we have the Lovers, Group C. Like, how much clearer does the universe have to be for us to understand that an important message for you is about your romantic life and is about the fact that it's going to be revamped, that someone who you find super attractive and who finds you very attractive as well is going to affect your life in the most amazing way and is going to come into your life. They have that strong water sign type of energy. They don't have to be like a water sign in their sun sign. They may be a water sign in their moon sign or their rising sign, but they have that maturity, that wisdom to them, that old soul type of energy. And I can see here in the Knight of Diamonds that another quality that they bring with themselves, Group C, is the fact that they are a provider. So they are still building their career. They're not quite at the height of their career, if you will, but at the same time, they're not like at the beginning, okay? They're in midst of it. They're putting in the work. They're putting in a lot of time and effort, and they want to ensure that they can provide an amazing life for you and the relationship. Then last but not least, in the Seven of Wands, I see persistence and conviction when it comes to this person and your love life, Group C's. They are going to be very persistent in their approach to be with you. They're going to be very persistent in breaking down the walls that are keeping you tempered, okay? That are keeping you in a place where you have control over yourself, because they feel the strong connection to you. So whether you choose to reciprocate that is up to you and your situation, Group C. But do know here that this is an important message and an important foreshadowing that the universe wants you to receive. So Group C, we're at the end of part 2 of your reading, and I really hope that you found this type of structure and this type of personal reading healing as well as insightful. Let me know down below in the comment section. I always love to read all of your comments. Thank you for spending this divine time with me. Know that I'm sending you love, and I'll see you in another one of my readings.